It's good, homies. We're live from the Heart Center in sunny Boyle Heights, Los Angeles, California. I'm Mark, and I am awareness in the service of love. I'm also a recovering addict. I'm a recovering human. Today, I want to talk about quieting your mind. And, I'm on this NoFap thing, and that's pretty difficult by itself. But the only thing that it made it harder to do was at the same time I was trying to quiet my mind. Before, I had obsessive thinking. And that is just anyone with codependency. That's a symptom, that's a function of being codependent, is obsessive thinking, where our minds are constantly, my mind was constantly running commentary of just my life, or I would just think about shit, an idea into the future, or dwell on the past. And what that does is it takes you away from the present moment. And being mindful about being in the present moment, that's like a real superpower. That's a real thing. That's why these yogis and all these people talk about it. Puts you into a flow state. You're in the zone. But my mind had been programmed my entire life to mood alter, to get out of this present moment. Because the present moment meant you had to feel your feelings. And I didn't want to feel my feelings. Feelings were too painful. I didn't know how to really feel my feelings. But now I have like a tool set and I know how to do that. You still have to reprogram your brain. You have to use, neuroplasticity is a real thing. And it was even harder because I suppress a lot of my thoughts and emotions. I just would send them into a place where they didn't exist subconsciously, even before they would raise up to an aware state of awareness. And, luckily with this sexual transmutation that I've been doing, it's Kundalini energy has really pushed all these to the surface. So where in meditation now, what I try to do, or I was trying to do, was just quiet my mind. And I was doing that by catching all my thoughts as soon as they happen, and trying to quiet my mind as soon as those thoughts would come up, seeing how long I could just keep my mind quiet, my mind still. And I want to tell you this, it's probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, because I couldn't keep my mind still. I'd count my breaths. I couldn't keep my mind still maybe for the first week for longer than 1 or 2 breaths before something would come up. Usually my mind would say that I can't do this. It's too hard. It's impossible. You're never going to make it. And that happened for a minute, a couple days, maybe a week. And then I started getting some traction. I'd get up to 2 breaths, 3 breaths, 4 breaths, and then still my mind would tell me that I can't do it, that I'm not good enough, that maybe it works for people, but it doesn't work for me. And my mind is very intimate with myself. It knows all of my lies. It knows all my triggers and weaknesses. It knows how and what to say to really like get in there that I want to quit. You know, it's kind of me, so it's very intimate with all these things. So just getting a hold of my mind and quieting it was like, I mean, it's like going, like when you put Crisco on a watermelon and you went into like a lake, it's the water or a pool, and you like, what was that game? We played in summer camp, and you had to like grab the watermelon and take it from one end to the other while other people are trying to stop you. It was so hard. It's so hard to like hold on to a greased watermelon, man, in the water. Dude, it's so hard. Serious? That was such a good time. But yeah, so it was kind of like that. That's how hard it was. And I was like, fuck, man. If it took me 2 weeks of doing this and I got to 7 breaths before my mind told me to stop, I'm in this thing for the long haul, because it's gonna take a long minute. It's gonna take a long time before I get to a place where I'm able to have my mind still for a long time. And then something happened. Then it just worked. It wasn't like it went from one breath, 1 minute to 5 minutes, 6 minutes to 8 minutes. It was like I was putting in these reps, and then there was just a breakthrough. And then it just went silent. Or at least more controllable. At least now I can see when the thoughts come up, and they aren't just like an avalanche of shit, avalanche of thought. It's just not obsessively thinking about everything. And now I'm to the point where that I don't even think about that anymore. So I wanted to make this video just to document, to give people some words of encouragement that if they're going through the same thing, that keep at it, because there'll be a breakthrough as well. And then you're not going to remember the struggle. You know, think about learning to walk or learning to ride a bike. Struggle for a long time with learning how to ride a bike. Struggle for a long time learning how to walk. And then all of a sudden you can walk. All of a sudden you can ride a bike. And you're so excited that you can do these things that you forget about the struggle. You forget how hard it was to learn how to do these things. All that kind of just goes away real quickly. And that's how I feel, you know, that couple weeks of struggle, putting in the effort, putting the reps of doing that, it's kind of faded away. I don't even think about how difficult that was anymore, but I know it was, and I know there are going to be people that are also going through this, and I just want to say that keep going. Keep going, because you're going to get to somewhere else where things just slow down and they become a lot more quiet and a lot more peaceful in your life. Your obsessive thinking is going to not be obsessive anymore. And to keep going, just Try to be still, try to be silent as long as possible. Don't get frustrated, don't give up. And if you think this is an easy thing, try yourself, see how long you can go without thinking a thought. It's a lot harder than you think, suckers. It's so hard. It's like that greased watermelon, man. It's so hard. See how long you can go before you have a thought. And then just try to put in the reps so you can go longer and longer and longer. Just be focused. Just be focused on doing the reps. Don't be focused on any sort of outcome or when it's going to happen, or it's not happening to me, or it's not happened fast enough. Just focus on being in the moment and putting in those reps, and you're going to have a breakthrough as well. And then you're going to forget about that struggle. And from that point, from this place, a lot of things open up. A lot of things start to open up. Things become a lot more clear. Things start to get unlocked because that signal to noise ratio of just your mind, all that, it's just static. Can't really hear. I never really thought I had an intuition. And people talk about be more intuitive, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Intuition, what is that? Follow your gut. Follow your heart. What's that, man? I never experienced any of that shit. I thought that shit wasn't for me. I was broken or somehow weird. But it was because that obsessive thinking, man, that static was blocking that signal from coming in. And I'm not saying it's all the way there, but at least I know there's a different way to live. I thought this obsessive thinking was the only way, because it was my whole life. I thought that was the only way that I'd ever be. And the idea of changing that or letting go of it, also kind of scary. I was changing something, a core function or dysfunction, and letting go of some shit, some big time shit that I thought was me and what it wasn't. Because like I said, suckers, I'm not my thoughts. I'm the observer of my thoughts. And which is a thought as well. When that's a mind fuck. But that's another live stream. Because I don't really understand that 100% yet. But I digress. So yeah, just keep at it. Keep putting in those reps. Keep seeing how long you can not think for. And when you have that breakthrough, let me know. Comment on this video, man. I would love to hear from you guys. So, thank you for letting me share. Thank you for letting me be of service.